The Iridesh fighting pits were older than half the settled galaxy, a monstrous arena carved from the bones of a dead asteroid orbiting a gas giant whose storms never ceased. Here, the most brutal fighters from a dozen species earned blood money and glory for the amusement of the Iridesh conglomerate's rich and twisted spectators. No one expected a human to last 5 seconds here, let alone 5 matches. But that night, as the crowds packed the arena to capacity, they gathered for the final fight, a human challenger named Sergeant Lena Ward against the reigning pit champion, a 6-limbed Torgoth Ravager named Kerr. Lena was battered, bruised, her combat vest scorched by plasma burns, but she stood tall at the gate. Her hair was matted to her forehead, blood crusting the corner of her mouth. Her only weapon, a battered alloy staff, hung loose in her calloused hands. The announcer's voice boomed through the chamber, translated into 20 tongues. The human steps forward. For your entertainment, she will face Kerr the Ravager, eater of bones, crusher of skulls. Let the final blood be shed. The gates creaked open. Kerr lumbered forward on 4 clawed legs, armored plates scraping together like knives on stone. The pit walls vibrated with cheers and laughter, mostly directed at the human who, they were sure, would be torn apart in seconds. Kerr snarled, lifting a massive chain blade dripping with oil and old gore. He raised it high, roaring to the crowd. Lena just smiled, split lips stretching into something feral. She turned the battered staff once in her grip, then tossed it aside with a loud clang. The weapon skidded across the sand, out of reach. The crowd erupted into mocking cheers. They pounded the glass, tentacles and claws drumming in glee. The announcer cackled. She's given up. The human surrenders her only weapon. Kerr will feast tonight. But down in the pit, Kerr's eyes narrowed. He saw no fear in her stance. No tremor in her battered hands. Just the calm, focused poise of a predator who knew exactly what she was about to do. Lena spat a gob of blood into the sand. Come on then, she muttered. Kerr lunged. 14 seconds. That's how long it took. The security feed, later leaked to half the galaxy, showed it in grainy, nightmarish detail. The first 3 seconds, Lena ducked under Kerr's blade swipe, rolling forward inside the arc of his chainsaw weapon. Her elbow cracked into his lower jaw, stunning him. Second 5 to 8, she pivoted behind him, hands finding the soft seam between his upper carapace plates. She jammed her thumb deep into the cluster of nerves there, a weakness only a fool would dismiss in a Ravager. Kerr bellowed in pain, legs buckling. Seconds 9 to 12, Lena swung up onto his armored back, driving a knee into his spine joint. With one brutal motion, she snapped the blade free from his flailing claw, reversed it, and rammed it down through the base of his skull. Second 13, silence. Second 14, Kerr the Ravager hit the sand dead weight. Lena stood over him, panting, blood and oil dripping from her fists. Above, the entire arena was frozen. The same spectators who jeered and howled for human blood now sat stunned behind reinforced glass, some backing away from the barriers like prey who'd suddenly realized the predator wasn't the one in chains. Lena looked up at them, calm, calculating, then at the guards beyond the gate who'd raised their shock rifles too late. Anyone else want to try? She asked, voice like steel dragged across stone. No one moved. Some spectators stumbled out of their skyboxes. A few bolted for the shuttles that waited beyond the airlocks. The feeds caught it all, the richest warlords, the cruelest crime lords, all scattering like rats. In 14 seconds, the fighting pits learned a lesson the galaxy never forgot. You can cheer when a human drops her weapon. You can laugh at her bruises, mock her scars, call her weak prey. But you better pray she stays down, because when she gets back up, she won't need a weapon at all. Later, stories spread through every backwater bar and slave den. A single human, barehanded, cleared the Iridesh pits and broke the cycle of bloodsport in one night. The conglomerate shut the pits down a week later. Too much risk, they said. Humans ruin the odds. They called her the empty-handed fury. And if you listen close in the old arenas, you'll still hear it whispered, humanity, F***, yeah, asterisk.